Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, glad to have you here. Today we have another Dawn of War 3 video. We will, trust me, we will be getting back to Warhammer very soon. Um, but I've just been really enjoying Dawn of War, and I really have not had any time to record some videos. And the time I do have, I've been wanting to spend trying to get okay at Dawn of War 3. Um, and I've never played, I've played casually games like StarCraft before, but I've never gotten into like a hardcore, um, counting number of clicks per minute kind of game like this is. Where micro is heavily important. I guess the closest I get is Total War Warhammer, and Total War Rome and stuff like that. But today we have a 1v1 against some Space Marines. Let's turn off Fog of War here. You can see he is over here. He's got a nice darker theme than me. And we will go just because early game's kind of slow. And you can see the servitor running to the big point, of course. And I'm going to run my Space Marines over here once I get them, and I'm making another one in the orbital relay. And I'm ready to plant the standard at the first engagement, so definitely got all that stuff going. And in this you can see I have my Eldar, anti-Eldar build here. I wasn't sure if it would be good against the Space Marines, so I thought I'd try it out. Why not? I was debating between which of these to get. This one's kind of nice because it can strike at strike at the enemy's kind of weak listening post. But I was just so afraid of him getting to my expensive listening post that I was like, no, I can't. I'm gonna go push over here, and you can see he is building immediately a barrack. So he's teching straight assault marines, which is kind of terrifying. And he drop pods a dude in, and he has another dude here. So that does give me a slight advantage, and you can see I'm going to try and snipe his servitor here. And I almost snipe it before it's done. So sad. So I'm going to get that servitor, and then we're going to get an engagement going here. He's going to send one dude over towards me. I'm going to drop my standard, try and get that shield out. So there, I'm going to toss him back, start capping this point. I'm going to drop, he drops his standard as well, and I'm going to drop mine over here. You can see we're just kind of trading. And there you can see he actually gets my standard down with his standard, which is, or I guess he has one dude in there. And we're going to start shooting. And I've lost one Space Marine here at this point, but now I'm shooting this turret. And you can see what my servitor, very low health. I'm going to try and keep him just like continuously cycling in and out. I do get my generator back, which gives my servitor a shield, which is very important. You can see he's wasting a lot of ammo here shooting at those guys when he could be shooting at my Space Marines. So that shield has many uses, and I'm just trying to target this one Space Marine down. I'm going to run away with this one, because if I lose that, you know, that's a big investment. It's a big amount that I'm losing there. And you can see I'm just trying to snipe out this Space Marine. And my servitor over here does get killed, but at this point he's traded enough money towards me that I'm feeling pretty confident. And I have enough money here to pop out another Assault Marine. And he, I don't believe, has enough money to start building a... oh, he has a ton of money. He could be building Assault Marines right now. What is he doing with all that money? But you can see here, I do have I have a couple of big advantages here. You can see I'm already building up here. I already have this. I already have my requisition generator. He has not taken this point. I have the elite point generator, or he has that in the middle, but he does not. He has no control over this guy up here. So I'm generating some extra requisition, and I do have a almost built listening turret, listening post. So I bring my other servitor that I used up here, bring him in. Oh man, and you can see here he doesn't have, that's why he has so much money, he doesn't have any of this stuff up here. You can see he is finally capping that stuff. I'm capping this over here, building another listening post. Or he is building a listening post here. I need to switch back to me. Here he is building a Assault Marine, which is okay. And I am bringing up my now 3 units of TAC Marines, who did replenish because my listening post can replenish other units. Sorry, that's the kitten playing in the background. You can see I have 2 servitors here trying to decide what to do. I'm going to go build a listening post over here. I think I'm saving now for a arsenal. I should be building that soon. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm going to finish off that. This is a nice 200 gold steel. And then I'm going to just start poking towards the middle, because I'm not sure what he has. You can see he does have this now, and he's slowly getting this together. Salt Marines, here they come. They're going to knock my dudes back, but I now they're in range of this guy. I have Death Watch coming in, so this is decent. I'm just trying to pick them off. I don't really want to engage until I have this arsenal done, so I can get my flamethrowers, use my slow death. But I'm just trying to poke here. I feel pretty confident because I can replenish back here. So I drop that guy here, doing some damage. As long as my Space Marines don't die, I really think any damage I do here is going to be positive for me in the long run. Especially because I can shoot these Assault Marines as they're leaving. And you can see I should be already replenishing these guys, yeah. So just trying to get that micro down. My arsenal's coming up. I should build a listening post up here soon. You can see he is building another barracks, needs those Assault Marines for his build. I have my arsenal now, and you'll see, yeah, I'll immediately building a flamethrower, waiting for this guy to heal, Death Watch, and then I'm going to push again, but this time with flamethrowers, double flamethrowers because of Death Watch. So this is very good position for me. And he doesn't have Death Watch, so I have a very limited amount of time before he summons his Librarian, which is his level 3. Here you can see I'm lighting these poor attack marines up. Even as they're replenishing, they're dying, just because that's how powerful the flamethrowers are. Immediately building that in the orbital relay once it's available. And now I'm going to be taking this guy down. You can see he is building some more requisition points. He's got his thing up. But at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident. I've got Death Watch, I've got some extra units, and I have, most critically, my flamethrowers. And now I have it on both units, which is very, very important. I'm sending this guy back to repair, and I have a ton of requisition at this point. I have like 4 points of requisition. I do have my arsenal, Assault Marine in there, and I'm going to take this point and then move on, because I need to capitalize on this. This is very important. See, I don't want to leave there too early, but once I cap it, I'm going to leave and just kind of let my servitor build. You can see here he is building a listening post with his servitor. Here he comes. I'm going to drop this banner right here, kind of in preparation. And what I'm going to do here is actually lay down some fire, and what's it called? The slow. The vortex grenade, and look how close that listening post is to done. He used that stone wall, but I guess the stone wall does not stop flamethrower damage, which is very interesting to know, first of all, and second of all, very, very lucky for me, because this listening post would have done a ton of damage to my guys, especially with the support of an elite unit. And so it doesn't go down, luckily. And this Librarian is surviving simply because of the stone wall, but once it goes down, I'm going to have a ton of firepower here to knock him out. I'm going to drop my Assault Marines, gun this guy down. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. Those flamethrowers are just devastating. They do take a little bit of micro. And you can see here, what am I doing? Not doing anything, but I have that listening post. I'm building that elite point. I'm heading up here to build one too, and I'm taking again his barracks down. So this is the difficulty with forward deploying your buildings. Is he's lost 400 gold of building so far. So that's an entire attack marine, or almost an assault marine. So of course I'm just going to keep pushing. That's the best thing to do. I am on his weak side kind of, because this is the more vulnerable point. So I'm going to knock it out. I think I'm going to send one dude to go cap it, and I'm going to head straight for the generator. Because when you kill the generator, you actually do get a ton of money, which is great. And I'll take. And you can see these guys pathing weirdly. And again, solidifying what I have with listening posts. I don't want him to be able to push and take it back. And again, here, just shooting this thing down. And you can see he just does not have much left. I've decisively kind of taken over the entire map here. And you can see here he still doesn't have one of his requisition generators. But yeah, that was just I love this map. This is the map I know the best. And that first fight was just so critical there with the Space Marines and taking out those two barracks. If we take, oh, can I? I guess I'm stuck here. But he definitely had an interesting set of elites that I kind of wish I had seen in battle. He had the Librarian, he had the Diomedes that you see in campaign, and I think he had Celeria. I don't remember, but it was a very interesting build, and it's very typical for the Assault Marine tech to be the tactic for kind of Space Marine players. And I'm going to show 2 battles today because this is actually going to be the last video for the week. This is a 2v2 here I played. I have an Orc ally versus 2 Space Marines players, and I have an Orc on my side. You can see I replaced Gabriel for Celeria for kind of more of a late game tilt. But I'm going to pause and get back to why this is kind of the last video for the week. I work with special needs kids, and I'm one-to-one aide, and my kid that I work with gets to go on this cool field trip that is many a night, and I get to go with him. So I'm not going to be in town, and I was so busy applying for like other part-time jobs to supplement this one, and it's been chaotic. Playing Dungeons & Dragons on the weekends takes a lot of time as well. But I've been super busy, so I wasn't able to prep any videos ahead of time. So this is all I got, and I'll definitely start posting again in a week or two, or mostly by next Monday. I should have another video out. But I just kind of wanted to tell you guys why no videos were showing up. I'm definitely not like stopping my videos, and I'm definitely getting back to Warhammer when I get back. But you can see here, I do have Celeria for kind of a more late game-ish thing, because sometimes these 2v2s can get very stalematey, and if you don't have those high-level elites, you can really suffer. But I do have Death Watch just because I like to kind of be dominant in the early game. And Death Watch helps you do that, or at least helps you be competitive in doing that. And if we look at my ally, you can see he definitely has an early tilt as well. You can see the Storm Boys and the Weird Boys Apnoggin. So just 5 elite points here for 2 of these guys. So that will kind of help supplement. But, well, I was kind of thinking about late game. These other guys were definitely, look at this, 6, 9, and 10. Holy crap, if these 3 were on the field, 2 Imperial Knights, that would be terrifying, especially with those Terminators as a backup, with their stun, allowing these guys to do what they need to do. And then if you look over here, he's got also the Imperial Knight Paladin, but he does have the Librarian for some early game, but he also has the Venerable Dreadnought, which is a super cool unit whose Plasma Cannon just destroys entire units. So definitely a powerful character there. But I definitely like the Terminators a little bit better, because you can be a little bit more careless with them, which is why I like them. And they're even useful in the late game with their stun. They can stun 10-point elites, which is very, very helpful. But you can see here, this map has a couple of key points. You can see it does have kind of this like staggered deployment. So you can see my ally has this very expensive 3-point, while he's facing the guy who gets the elite point essentially, and I get the elite point generator, and my enemy gets this 3-point thing. So kind of a more just an interesting map altogether. So I'm going to want to push towards this ASAP, get in here, build a turret, and solidify in this cover. I'm also going to want to cap these 2 bases. You can see my ally doing a great job, rushing straight for this, building a wall turret. I would have loved to see him have the Gretchen in there while he's building that. Just kind of help that along. And I'm going to immediately build a listening post here because I want to be able to keep all my troops over here. I don't want to have to worry about him rushing straight this way and just taking out some of my points. So I'd rather have a listening post here rather than over here early game. And you can see I do have some attack marines over here. I need that early income if I'm ever going to win a fight at this point. You can see my kind of mirror Space Marine here doing the exact same thing with that cool, I think it's Ultramarines are the white ones. But they're super cool. And they're hiding over there, building some listening posts. You can see this guy, he has some scouts out. He went straight for that tech. And over here you can see the other servitor doing his job. Another second scout marine out. So I'm just going to be rushing straight for this point. And then I'm going to be bringing this servitor over whenever he's done here. You can see already Ying. I love it. So he's going to pump up all his dudes, make an early push here, which is great. I definitely have my response a little bit mistimed there. Because here he comes with all his heavy hitters. He's going to get in here, destroy this servitor and this power generator. But you can see allies dropping in some assault marines. Pretty terrifying for orc boys. They do have those shields. And you can see my allies, my enemies, the Space Marine opposite of me, his Scout Marines are coming in. So I do drop my standard, I believe. Just trying to help him out, but he's taking too much damage. I'm a little bit too slow. Sorry, that's the cat. The kitten. Can't really do anything about it. And as I deploy my units, my ally wisely pulls out. So this is very bad for me, taking some unnecessary damage here and wasted a drop pod. But I guess I did help the orc boys kind of get away. You can see here he does have a listening post. And I have the shield bubble, and I'm building a listening post as well over here. You can see he does pull back, which is going to be good for me. He probably knows this orc has a wall tower over here. So I'm going to use this straight cut through to kind of just try and get back to my stuff ASAP. I feel pretty confident in here, but I know he does have those assault marines. So bubble is not as safe as you would think it was in the early game due to that rush. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm going to pause the video here and go deal with this kitten. Sorry about that. I don't think I dealt with him. I think I just made him more excited. But we will keep on playing here. And you can see I got a third attack marine squad out. But what I really need is those flamethrowers right now. As you can see, my servitor is running back to base to build my arsenal. Because I don't want that anywhere where it can be killed, because there's literally no use for it to be forward deployed. Here I do luckily bring out Deathwatch, kind of timed as he's pushing here, which is nice, and he sees that and he decides to pull back, which is good for me, because he does have these 2 blind grenades which stun units. It's pretty devastating, especially when you micro them right. But talking about micro, this terribly annoying thing has been happening to me in this game, and it is completely and utterly debilitating and frustrating whenever it happens, and I have no idea how to fix it. So I'm kind of talking about it here, hoping that one of you guys, potentially just hoping, knows what to do. So the default key bindings and such for this game, we're gonna pause it here as he begins his attack. The key bindings for this game are entirely based on the arrow keys to move the screen around, like this, and WASD for abilities like grenades, like Deathwatch, like flamethrowers. So especially just Q is one of the most important key bindings in the entire game. But what's been happening to me, and what happened to me in this match, was that all my screen movement flips to WASD. So that disables all hotkeys to my knowledge. I have no idea what to press when happens. I don't know why it happens. One game Kitten found his toy. One game, it'll be the arrow keys. Oh, man, sorry. I will go deal with that. Okay, and what has been happening, and so I am unable to essentially click any of my hotkeys. So everything you're seeing in this battle, I have to manually click on a unit, then manually click on the ability, and then click on where I want it to go. So it is slow, it is clunky, it is awful, and I don't know how to fix it. So if you guys know, I would love for you guys to tell me, because if I had learned the game, maybe, using that, it would be different, but I have not. I've learned the game using the arrow keys to move the camera around, and WASD 20, or WASD 20 is a channel, and using the arrow keys to move around, and WASD to do the abilities. So, definitely don't know what I'm doing wrong, or how I'm triggering this. You can see that fight, I feel like was pretty great timing on the requisition there from my opponent. So I'm pulling back, doing the same thing, using Deathwatch to maintain the bubble, and I do have my first flamer out thanks to my arsenal. So I would have loved to have it in that fight, but the good thing is that my opponent, might not know I have flamethrowers, so we might get a little bit greedy next fight. You can see he does have the librarian now, so my Deathwatch advantage is slightly nullified. But I think the synergy between the vortex grenade and the flamethrower is vastly superior, as opposed to simply the librarian. But the stone wall and Emperor's Light is fantastic. Fury of the Ancients is a decent harass as well. I find it better against like orcs and because they have more lightly armored troops. You can see here I'm just poking. I figured there might be enemy units up there, doing some early damage. Really just trying to be annoying and goad him into a fight. So you can see here, he's nice and spread out. I'm bringing up these guys to potentially flamethrower, and oh man, watch this. So he's used his first, now he's using his second. Guess who's sitting in this bubble, now completely protected. Boom! Nice death vortex of flame there, triggering my Deathwatch flame, catching this servitor. Doing a ton of damage to these two, but by this time he has gotten his jump back, so he's able to pull out of that situation. But I get a lot of nice damage there. I don't kill any units, but while I'm doing this, you can see my ally has been pushing on this side, and he's gonna just slaughter these assault marines with his elite unit as like kind of, this is the enemy that does not have any early elites, so he's gonna be punished by some early orc pushes, and he can't attack here because he just wasted a ton of his power attacking this bubble. So this is working pretty good. Now we have both elite generators. When I saw this librarian, I should have known he was bringing these guys around too. If I'd come out here, I could have grabbed him, but that's definitely a micro mistake. You can see he was expecting me to chase out of my bubble. So we do have this elite point generator down here. We have a pretty solid position here with the Wa towers. Sorry, not much I can do. We're just fostering, so he doesn't stay forever, and I don't really have the means to, get him out of my room. But you can see here we do have the 2 elite generators, and I like that he doesn't use a listening post here, because it just costs a lot of money, and these Wa towers are expensive, as is 75 energy, so very great to see. There you can see I'm upgrading my stronghold. I'm finally pumping out some assault marines. I'm pumping out some scouts. I have an assault marine in this drop pod, and I'm getting ready to kind of push. But I feel like we have a very even fight here. You can see he has like 6 scouts, so that's 6 stun grenades, 2 assault marines, and a librarian. So pretty terrifying unit. They're a combo of units if I get it wrong. Here comes Deathwatch again, and I don't know why they moved up that far. I was trying to goad him into another fight. But you can see there, I do take a ton of damage, and he does not take the bait, which is very sad. I was very sad about that. You can see sneaky play with these heavy bolters here, sneaking them into the stealth, getting them ready to kind of potentially assault. You can see another Wa incoming. And seeing this, I'm going to start posturing. Hopefully Deathwatch can start getting healed, because when your ally pushes, you cannot not push. You have to be a distraction. You have to threaten, or it's going to go bad. Very, very bad. So my ally is going to push up here, hit this assault generator. Oh boy, kitten. He's going to hit this assault generator, and you can see my ally moving out of range. And, you know, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on all the time, but I am going to see this, and I am going to move up, because I can't just let him push by himself. The Librarian and his Assault Marines, a huge hitting power, is coming down, and I'm just going to come up here and try and knock out this thing while he's not paying attention. I really need to be moving up the rest of my forces, but I'm a little hesitant just because I know he has so many Assault Marines, and I really don't have any. So it's slightly terrifying. Here you can see he does proc his units, I think, as my cloaked units come up. So I do get some stun on them, and I'm going to drop my Assault Marines on these two. These guys are sloppy play here, not activating these guys as well. And you can see down here he is throwing down. That lightning just doing a ton of damage to those clumped up orcs. Really slaughtering them. Blinding Light, you're definitely not using that right. That's a channeled... We'll pause. Just because we're not seeing everything. I do take this out, so they're taking advantage of my allies' push to poke, and you're definitely not using that right. So, look here, you can see it's activated and channeled. So, in that circle, while he's channeling this ability, it increases damage of allies while disabling, blinding, and silencing enemies. So he has to sit there and just do this. And it makes everybody attacking you useless. So just a terrifying ability, especially when combined with Stonewall. You Stonewall around a group of troops, you Emperor's Light, and then you just shoot them to death while they're sitting there stunned, and you just bolter them to death, flamethrower them to death, and it is vicious. So you have to sit there and just use that. You cannot move your character or it'll stop the spell from working. So here, getting some nice picks on his requisition generators. Slowly, you can see my servitor is coming up here, so I am discovering all these hidden units, and I'm going to slaughter these poor scouts. I thought there was going to be more. So I dropped my standard. I thought there was going to be some sort of counterattack, but you can see there's not really much to counterattack with. The greenskin took a ton of damage, but it's okay. I took the 3-point, and so that is hugely important. And you can see I'm going to split up my attack marines, especially the ones with, I only have one with flamethrowers currently, but that will change soon. Put my assault marines up front, trying to get my scouts to stealth again. And I'm going to send my assault marines over here. A lot of people don't put listening posts on their back requisition points, and assault marines can basically escape from anything they want if they don't use their assault jumps to engage. They'll still have 2, so they can basically run away from anything. You can see there I'm upgrading infantry damage, and I'm running straight for these points to try and take him out. You can see this barracks turning out a ton of assault marines. And wasted banner there, but I did get this point secured. So I have my listening post, putting down more requisition. You can see we still don't have this elite point, but we do have that bubble, which is pretty great. And those Def Gun looters are going to be hard to take out without some assault marines. But my opponent over on the side does have those assault marines. You can see 3 of them pumped out now. Would like to see them with those true swords. By now, it is pretty late in the game, 12 minutes in. But you can see he does have some land speeders running around. Orc player is attacking. Now that I have my listening post here, I'm feeling pretty good. Again, just slowly expanding. So I'm going to be pushing down this way towards the... And again, you can see my servitor discovers the scouts. That's why it can be handy to kind of have your servitor with your army. You can see I did kind of stick around to take this point, and that just slows down the enemy a little bit more, so I always like to do that. And I'm attacking this shield generator as my orc ally was also scared off. Man, those guys slaughtered them. You can see those awesome terminators in the fight. This land speeder is coming in, and I'm just trying to do any damage I can to this shield generator. But you can see the land speeder does take those guys out. And I see this force incoming, and I'm going to book it, because I'm not prepared for this fight. Assault Marines are going to come in. They're going to somewhat miss, but I'm going to get a nice flamethrower on these guys, deal some nice damage. He's going to pull out. I missed with my Assault Marines, which is not too good. But I'm doing some nice damage here to his Assault Marines, so I'm not feeling too. I'm feeling pretty confident there. Did some good damage, but I didn't kill anything, and I think he did kill a couple of my units. So he did catch me out. You can see my ally does summon Zapnoggin over here. He actually does leave him here all game because he forgets that he's there. So definitely some mistakes that all the players are making. You can see I have some scouts up here, just so I can have eyes on everybody. This dang land speeder here being very annoying. Getting some nice damage on there. You can see some drop pods. More attack marines. This time I brought some plasma guns so I could keep them in the back, do some true damage to units like land speeders and stuff like that. And you can see upgrading infantry damage. And again, more assault marines in those drop pods. I love it there because you don't have to worry about engaging them wrong. You can just drop them where you need them. Ooh, man, we missed what looks like an epic fight over here for this. I don't know what to call these, shield points, but those assault marines and those ranged terminators with support. Nice rocket there from this guy. Kill a can. And you can see here, oh man, so this was really cool. He dropped all these guys in on me. He has his librarian coming in, and I flamethrower these guys, and he does a great job of jumping these guys straight out. You can see he does snipe Death Watch, but luckily I have these guys in the back, and I'm just able to gun these guys down because I was so spread out. I didn't have all my guys in one clump, so I take out that land speeder, I take out that assault without losing a couple of my units here. So you can see they're very low, but I did lose Death Watch, so that was not the best engagement here for me. I really wasn't expecting him to attack again, but I guess he realized how important that 3-point was, because it just has those 2 requisition points that can make just spamming out Assault Marines so much easier. So there you can see I have another one in reserve. I have my flamethrowers nice and spread out. Building more servitors, of course, always helpful. And you can see my ally down here doing some good work, trying to take this point back. But those Terminators laying down some vicious cover fire, and you can see just slowing all those guys in a huge line. Not very good for my opponent. I love those ranged Terminators, especially those rockets are terrifying. And they're going to slow down everything that is running away, so he's easily going to snipe out that elite. Oh, just out of range. Oh, so clutch. And so you can see he is immediately setting up those generator points, and I'm just going to, these guys do true damage, so I'm just going to send them to beat up this generator. And there's really nothing my opponent can do about that, unless he wants to bring out his force. You can see some huge contingent of scouts pushing on my orc ally, pushing over here, trying to figure out potentially what he has. More Def Gun loot is coming out, I think, and boys is the combo he's going for here. His commando is healing up. And he does have a ton of these killer cans. I love this. I love the rockets here, and they are upgraded with scrap, so they can have up to 6 rockets. So they can do some terrifying burst damage. I bring my assault marines down here. They're going to be attacking these heavy bolters, trying not to let him get any solidified position. I'm going to drop my dudes. I'm going to hit him in the face, and then finish him off. And at this point, they don't really have a chance, unless he gives them some support. They can't run away. They can't really do anything. So definitely a good deal for me. Assault Marines getting their money's worth. These Devastators do cost a little bit less, 450. So something to be aware of. You can see just a huge amount of scouts here. As my Terminators come up, I'm waiting for Death Watch. I do have Death Watch now, so I feel like I'm pretty confident. I know their elite spread. I know I have the elite point generator. We actually have, well, we had both for a while there, so we should technically have an elite point lead. So while I've used 9, they should probably not have 9. You can see he has 10, I guess. So he had more than me, but I guess I have I must have some more. I have 2. So I have basically a 2-point lead. You can see over here he has done 9 too. So I guess my elite point generator has not been doing as much as I was hoping it would have. But you do get elite points for like killing Deathwatch and such, which they have done. You can see my ally here actually close to beauty with his 2 very cheap, very cheap heroes there. So you can see these scouts posturing up these guys as well. And I'm going to be moving up here soon. I'm going to come around here. I know we have to do this. And we have to push or we're going to lose. So I'm going to move up here and try and get in this stealth, kind of posture up over here, and just start pinging the crap out of this spot. I want this orc player to just come down here and wipe this point out with me, wipe out the shield generator, get the money there, and just get it done. You can see I do have finally my machine cult. You can see me just pinging it over and over again as I'm sitting here exposed, clumped up, very terrible tactical position. You can see this guy is coming up, and I didn't know he knew I was here. So he's going to posture up here. You can see tack marines coming in, scouts up behind. I've got some flamethrowers in the back that I forgot about. More scouts, and you can see they're just going to run down here. See all my units. If I just had a servitor, I could have dealt with this. Should have kept a servitor with my troops. And oh man, here he comes. He's gonna drop a dreadnought on me. It's just so cool. Look at that thing, just like airdropped from that. What's it called? A Thunderhawk. Just so cool. Sending all my units flying, which is not good. All my units are stunned, getting tossed around. I'm dropping my drop pod. I should be dropping my banner soon. Shooting a flamethrower. I have my Terminators on his Dreadnought, so I'm doing some good damage. Stunned. Getting that shield running. Vortex grenaded. Really just trying my best. Assault Marines are going to come up here. Sorry about that. That's the cat. Can't really do much. And he does have the Venerable Dreadnought. And you can see all my guys just in tatters. I do have the shield on most of them, though, which is pretty good. And I've got them, my Assault Marines, into these scouts. And so they're not going to be doing any shooting anytime soon. But you can see his Venerable Dreadnought is a nice firing line. It's Librarian for support. And I am going to push. You can see Zapnoggin here in the back along with some spare units of mine. You can see I finally have a Dreadnought, but I did not deploy mine in the drop pod, which was a mistake. You can see more Assault Marines, but they are not where they need to be, which is in this battle. So they're doing some good damage here. I don't know what's being dropped there. Oh, my enemy standard here. I really need to get in there and take that if I want to stay alive, because it does just nuke units nearby, like mine does. So I do take that down finally, and I'm going to rush this Terminator. I just want to kill it. You can see Deathwatch in here. I'm down to 1 of these Terminators. I just cut the Librarian down. Now I'm going to swarm this Dreadnought. As my poor Terminators get punched in the face. I'm just trying to cut them down. The plasma guns are helping here. And oh, did you see that plasma cannon? Just knocks out my last Assault Terminator, kills one of my units. But I am going to come up here and flamer it. So I'm going to immobilize it essentially and just really attempt to gun it down. I don't have much armor piercing left. Just these plasma guns is all I have left. But it's going to be enough. He's pretty isolated. And he's probably overheating at this point. There, yeah, you can see, so his ranged attacks are gone, and I'm going to take him down. You can see here the Ultramarines are pushing up with their Devastators. Nice engagement from my ally. These Kilocans are not going to die very quickly to these Bolters, so doing a ton of damage here, which is great. Orbital Beacon. Oh, man. Oh, man. Cut those guys down. Don't run towards the beacon. Oh, man. That is just such a cool orbital beam. Annihilating so many killer cans. Oh man, if only he had done that while he still had a lot of his Assault Terminators. So just slaughtering those poor killer cans. That was such a cool little army he had there, but it's just going to be gunned down. As I take this central point. So, you know, not the worst thing in the world. You can see he finally wisened up, built a listening post back here. Zapnoggin's still sitting in the back. with his scrap shield. And you can see I have one unit in here. All my guys are in tatters, but I do not want to give up this position. You can see building land speeders, building Deathstorm drop pods. You can see a huge thing of scouts right here, ready to kind of jump on, keep an eye on my army, jump on any mistakes that I make. So I'm going to be running around. You can see servitors running in. Finally got some land speeders, some more tac marines. I want some more plasma guns and flamers. Is my dreadnought coming in? Where is he? Where are you? I feel like I hear him. You can hear like his massive thumping boots. Well, oh, here he is. Man, just so cool. And I have a ton of buffs for him here. You can see Invigorating Slam. Activating Slam invigorates the Dreadnought, grants a temporary shield, and when I do have my Assault Terminators, they can also charge, which I think is a ton of bonus utility for these guys, because they can really suffer if they can't get into combat. But with Assault, with the Assault Terminators and the Charging Slam, they can, and then they pop in there, they slam, they get a shield, and oh man, just so powerful. So they really can't, it's hard for them to die when they have all those buffs. So we'll go back to normal speed. You can see finally this fight just didn't go super well. Even though he annihilated those killer cans, he was so behind from the earlier fights that the Orc player was able to come back. And of course the Orc player is benefiting from this, and I'm benefiting from this, because we do share kind of requisition points, so it's not the worst thing in the world. You can see here I am building my listening post, trying to just survive so I can heal all these units. Dreadnought up front. Deathstorm drop pod is loaded up. You can see these assault marines. These poor ultramarines are just going to get gunned down here. I don't know what they were doing. Oh, they went to secure this point. I'm going to send these guys and kind of forget about them. They're going to get gunned down. And I thought this was going to be a larger engagement, so boom, there comes the Deathstorm. Pretty useless drop. Definitely a little overzealous on my part, but I thought they were going to push, so I dropped it, which is kind of what it's for. Protect these units while they take some time to replenish their units. Here you can see I try and get some damage, free damage there, but I'm not going to commit just yet. You can see I do have finally some scout snipers, some more assault terminators, extra flamethrowers. You can see there's a couple of flamethrowers, got my terminators. I do have my land speeder, which does have with Death Watch deployed. What does he have? Yeah, land speeders apply a debuff to their target, increases damage taken, and reveals the target for the duration. So, trying to just have at least one in here, so I take use of that and boost the damage of my entire army with that, essentially. And I do have it with the multi-melta, which I think is a definite must. It increases their damage by a ton. I wish I could see their damage. I don't know if you can do that. You can see over here the Ultramarines are pushing out some more servitors, trying to get that position. My ally doing great. I'm gonna push this point, because why not? We kind of have the initiative at this point. We really need to come over here. Yeah, he takes that out, which is good. And I'm healing up. You can see my assault terminators have 110 seconds, so still a ton of time left on them. It was sloppy to get them killed, and I do have my orbital bombardment ready. You can see a ton of money in the bank. Really need to be spending that. I start building a Predator Annihilator because I'm terrified of their late game units. So the Predator Annihilator, you can see, does high damage to heavy armored targets. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and I'm prepping for that. You can see my Orc ally just push in. Great play there with the Dreadnought. I'm going to drop my banner here to try and get that shield going, but my opponent is right there and just capture it. I was hoping to avoid that. Catch the land speeder, and I'm just pushing in, trying to disrupt, while my allies, bolters here, or my Def Gun Ludas, are going to be unloading. I'm going to take this guy back, get some shields on all my units here, which is very critical. I was hoping to do that before they took damage. I don't know what's healing them here. Does this thing heal units? Oh yeah, it does. Heals units in a circle. So that's definitely powerful. I should have left them here. And I'm gonna, this is pretty good. We're just gonna push and end this. Definitely not worth it to kind of stick around and do nothing. You can see these Space Marines were kind of at the wrong tower. We didn't end up pushing this one. So definitely would have helped to have them over there. And I'm just gonna push straight in. But this is kind of a critical moment here. This is why you have to have volume on. So when an enemy uses their orbital bombardment, you will hear something. Let's wait for it. Enemy Space Marine Ordnance is leveled at this battlefield. So immediately I'm going to look for the circle and grab it. So here, there you can see he misses with that orbital bombardment, runs straight for my Assault Terminators, but I catch it. It's not as overpowered as you think. You just got to be there, got to be paying attention. So we are going to do some nice damage. You can see Beauty de Morcanaut is in, Solaria is in, Assault Terminators are back, and there's really not much to be done here, as the Beauty ends the power generator. So definitely, I think, a very fun game with some interesting Space Marine builds. You saw kind of two different builds there. One build heavily on the Devastators, the other heavily on the Assault Terminators. And I more went to Tactical Marines. So there you saw basically, essentially, three different Warhammer races. I think, like, just from the Space Marines. You saw just how those elites change the dynamics of the races is incredible. And makes, I think, this game super fun. And, you know, gives you a lot of different ways that you can play your three favorite races. And since I'm so new at this, I'm going to be primarily playing Space Marines. Space Marines are badass. So, and they're one of my favorites in Warhammer. Empire is one of my favorites as well. Something about man kind of butchering a whole bunch of things that should be butchering them is pretty cool to me. So you will be seeing a lot of them in the future. But thanks so much for watching. I really love when any of you guys comment, so please comment on potentially what your Space Marine build is, or how you think you could take on Deathwatch and the Terminators with the Eldar or the Orcs. And I will be getting back to pumping out some videos on Monday, but this week this is going to be the last video. So thanks so much, everybody, and that's that.